What if the most sophisticated electric vehicles ever built were also secretly the most practical cars ever designed for people who have earned the right to drive in absolute comfort? That sounds almost too good to be true, but the numbers, the engineering, and thousands of real ownership stories tell a completely different story than what most people expect. The world of luxury electric vehicles is hiding something remarkable, and today we are going to expose exactly what that is. These are not just cars. They are rolling masterpieces of engineering that combine whisper-quiet cabins, effortless power delivery, and maintenance costs so low they will genuinely make you question everything you thought you knew about owning a premium automobile. We are talking about 3 specific vehicles that have quietly become the gold standard for mature drivers who refuse to compromise on quality or comfort. And before we go any further, if this kind of deep dive automotive content is your thing, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and drop a comment below telling us which of these 3 vehicles surprises you the most, because the answers will absolutely shock you. The first vehicle on this list is the Mercedes-Benz EQS, and the moment you understand what went into building this car, you will never look at luxury transportation the same way again. Mercedes engineers spent over a decade developing what they called the Hyperscreen, a 56-inch curved display that stretches almost the entire width of the dashboard, creating a cockpit experience that feels like something borrowed from a space agency rather than a showroom floor. But here is what almost nobody talks about. The EQS was specifically engineered around a concept Mercedes internally called active comfort architecture, meaning the suspension, the seat design, the cabin insulation, and even the air filtration system were all calibrated around minimizing physical fatigue during long drives. The rear-wheel steering system, which turns the back wheels up to 10 degrees in the opposite direction of the front wheels at low speeds, essentially shortens the effective turning radius to that of a compact car despite the EQS being over 207 inches long. That engineering decision alone makes navigating tight parking garages and urban streets dramatically less stressful. The HEPA-grade air filtration system inside the EQS can purify the cabin air to remove 99.65% of all fine particles, which is a specification that matters enormously for passengers with respiratory sensitivities. What makes this even crazier is that the EQS sedan has a drag coefficient of just 0.20. Making it the most aerodynamically efficient production sedan ever manufactured at the time of its launch, a fact that directly translates into the impressive range figures that make long-distance travel genuinely stress-free. The electric powertrain at the heart of the EQS is where things get truly fascinating from a reliability standpoint, because the physics of electric motors fundamentally change the ownership equation in ways that most drivers never fully appreciate. A conventional internal combustion engine contains hundreds of moving parts, from pistons and camshafts to timing belts and exhaust valves, all of which generate friction, heat, and eventual wear. The electric motors in the EQS contain exactly one moving part per motor, a rotor spinning inside a magnetic field, which is why Mercedes offers an 8-year warranty on the battery and drive unit. Independent reliability surveys have consistently shown that luxury EVs in this segment experience roughly 40% fewer issues per 100 vehicles compared to their gasoline-powered counterparts of similar price points. The regenerative braking system in the EQS captures kinetic energy during deceleration and feeds it back into the battery, which means the physical brake pads and rotors experience dramatically less wear than in any conventional vehicle. Brake pad replacements, which on a typical luxury sedan might occur every 25,000 to 40,000 miles, can be pushed far beyond 100,000 miles on vehicles that primarily use regenerative braking. And this is where things get interesting, because when you add up the elimination of oil changes, transmission fluid services, spark plug replacements, belt changes, and dramatically reduced brake servicing, the annual maintenance cost of the EQS can be less than 30% of what an equivalent S-Class gasoline model demands. If you are finding this information genuinely valuable and you know someone who is considering a luxury vehicle purchase or approaching retirement and thinking about their next car, please share this video with them right now. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and tell us in the comments what detail from this video genuinely surprised you the most. The second vehicle on this list operates in a completely different philosophical universe than the Mercedes, and that contrast is exactly what makes it so remarkable. The BMW X is built around what BMW calls its fifth-generation eDrive technology, a system developed entirely in-house that integrates the electric motor, transmission, and power electronics into a single compact unit that weighs significantly less than comparable systems from competitors. The exterior of the X was deliberately designed without a traditional front grille, not because BMW abandoned its identity, but because the thermal management system for the electric drivetrain required a completely reimagined approach to airflow, one that ultimately resulted in a vehicle with a drag coefficient of 0.25, which is genuinely exceptional for a large SUV. But the detail most people miss entirely is the structural engineering underneath that distinctive body. BMW constructed the X using a carbon fiber reinforced plastic passenger cell combined with aluminum outer panels, a material strategy borrowed directly from their i3 and i8 programs, which gives the X a torsional rigidity that makes the cabin feel vault-like in its solidity while simultaneously keeping the vehicle weight surprisingly manageable. The panoramic sky lounge roof in the X is not ordinary glass. It incorporates hexagonal structural elements visible from inside that are not merely decorative. They are part of the roof's load-bearing architecture, a detail so subtle that even many automotive journalists missed it entirely during their initial reviews. The Bowers & Wilkins Diamond surround sound system available in the X uses speakers positioned with acoustic precision throughout the cabin, with tweeters mounted in positions calculated specifically for passengers seated in rear seats, making the back of the X one of the finest listening environments of any vehicle at any price point. Here is where the ownership story of the BMW X becomes genuinely compelling for anyone planning to drive this vehicle for a decade or longer. The X uses a heat pump system for cabin climate management rather than a conventional resistive heating element, which is an engineering choice that preserves battery range in cold weather far more effectively than what most electric vehicles from the first generation of EVs could manage. Real-world data collected from X owners in Scandinavian countries, where winter temperatures routinely fall below -20 degrees Celsius, showed that the X retained approximately 70 to 75% of its summer range even in severe cold, a figure that significantly outperforms the industry average for electric vehicles in extreme climates. The over-the-air software update system in the X means the vehicle you buy today will literally gain new features and performance improvements years into ownership without requiring a single dealer visit. BMW delivered an update in the second year of X production that actually improved charging speed at DC fast chargers, a capability enhancement that would have required physical hardware modifications in any conventional vehicle. Most drivers never realize this, but the X's brake system incorporates a blending function so sophisticated that the transition between regenerative braking and physical brake engagement is completely imperceptible to the driver, a refinement that took BMW's engineers multiple development cycles to perfect and which contributes enormously to the smooth, effortless character that makes the X such an exceptional vehicle for daily use without physical strain. The X's hands-free parking system, which can maneuver the vehicle into and out of parking spaces using only the vehicle's own cameras and sensors, is operated from outside the car using a smartphone, a feature that carries enormous practical value for anyone who finds tight parking spaces challenging. The third vehicle on this list is perhaps the most quietly extraordinary automobile of the three, and the story behind it involves a level of engineering obsession that borders on the philosophical. The Lexus RZ is the product of a company that has spent over 3 decades building perhaps the most statistically reliable vehicles ever sold in the luxury segment, and the RZ represents the application of that legendary manufacturing discipline to the electric vehicle format. Toyota's production system, which Lexus Manufacturing inherits and refines further, is built around a concept called monozukuri, a Japanese philosophy of craftsmanship that treats every single vehicle as if it is being hand-built by an artisan who takes personal responsibility for its quality. The RZ is assembled at a factory that uses what Lexus calls a self-driving assembly process, where vehicles actually move themselves through portions of the production line without human guidance, reducing the micro vibrations that traditional conveyor systems introduce into chassis alignment. But there is one detail almost nobody talks about. The Lexus RZ incorporates a steer-by-wire system called One Motion Grip, which completely eliminates the mechanical connection between the steering wheel and the front wheels, replacing it with electronic sensors and actuators. This system allows Lexus engineers to tune the steering response with a precision that is impossible to achieve with a physical steering column, and it results in a turning circle so tight that parallel parking a vehicle the size of a compact SUV becomes genuinely effortless. The standard warranty package from Lexus on the RZ covers the battery and electric powertrain for 10 years or 150,000 miles in most markets, a commitment that reflects the manufacturer's confidence in the long-term durability of its engineering. And if you have watched this far and genuinely discovered something you did not know before today, this is the moment to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with someone in your life who deserves to know this information, and tell us in the comments which of these 3 luxury EVs you believe represents the most intelligent purchase decision and why, because the conversation in the comments on videos like this one is always extraordinary, and your perspective genuinely matters to this community.